All right, welcome back to part 2 of our chapter 5 exercises, where we will be looking at dealing with the other two costing methods for periodic inventory. So here, again, we're only going to be focusing on entering the data into the inventory worksheet and just completing the conversion entry for the rest of the scenarios. So in this case, let's go ahead and start off with question number 5, and let's get started. So your periodic inventory is, your inventory method is periodic and Lifo. Assume that all purchases were made on an account. Okay, in this case, we're not journalizing it, but it's just a good piece of information to know. So on August 5th, you purchased a total of 1,200 toys at $1 each, and freight cost was $50. Okay, so here I'm on my table. I'm going to recognize that August 5th, we purchased a total of 1,200 units at $1 each, and my freight was $50. Making my purchase price, again, we're going to do 1,200 times $1 to give me 1,200, and our total cost is going to be 1,200 plus the $50, which should give us a total of $1,250 to bring our cost per item a total of $104.16. So here we know that this number has been expanded because we know that it doesn't stop at 4. It's going to be ongoing, all right? And when I mean this, it makes sense to not round it yet because, again, essentially if you round too early, what's going to happen is when you make your cost per item sold, if you round too early, you might actually sell your items. You might cost your items at a higher cost and making your overall profit lower. So that's just one issue there, especially when you're dealing with thousands of items, right? 1/1000th of a penny, right? If you sell 1,000 of those items, that 1,000th of a penny will make a difference, okay? Back to this. So here we solved for our very first one, which is indicating here I bought 1,200 items for $1 each, and freight was $50, okay? So scenario number 2, or the next thing that happened on August 7th was you returned 200 toys. They were the wrong color. However, you're willing to accept a 20% discount. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my little worksheet over here. And I'm going to indicate, worksheet over here. And I'm going to indicate to you on this little bottom half right here that I'm actually returning 200 items. But in this very scenario, am I really returning the 200 items? No, I'm not. But I know that those 200 items is going to cost me $1 each, right? There's only one batch, so you can safely assume that it's going to be for the $1. Okay? Now here, I'm going to multiply it by the 200 items that I'm attempting to return and then apply the 20% discount. And here, that's going to give me a grand total of $40. So again, that is $1 times 200, okay? And we're going to take the 200 times 20% of that to give us $40. Okay? $40 refund. Okay? Then on August 10, you purchased another 750 items at $1.25 with the freight of $45. So back to my worksheet here. I'm going to go ahead and indicate that on August 10, I bought 750 items at $1.25 and my freight was $45. So in this case, I can apply this and I get a $937.50. Okay? And my total cost here is going to be my $937 plus my $45 to give me a grand total of $982.50, which I'm going to get my cost per item, divide that entire thing by my $750 to get me a grand total of $1.31 each. Okay? So now that I have $1.31 even, okay, I can go ahead and close that out. Or I mean shrink it so I know it's $1.31. Okay? I'm going to double confirm that. That is 982 divided by my 750 gives me 131. Okay? All right. So then on August 11th, you returned a total of 50 broken toys for a full refund. Okay, so I'm going to go here on here. I'm going to go down to the below. Now, I'm actually returning 50 broken toys, all right? And my assumption is it's from the previous batch that I just purchased for $1.25 each. Because I'm getting a full refund, I don't need to make any extra calculations except for solving for how much money I'm actually getting refunded for. And in this case, it's going to be for $62.50. Okay. So then on August 20th, I made a purchase of 400 toys at $1.50 with a freight costing of $25. So 400 at $1.50. So I'm going to go to my inventory worksheet. Okay, I know that on August 20th, I purchased 400 items at $1.50 with a freight of $25. So in this case, my total amount here is going to be 400 times $1.40, which gives me $600 even. Plus the 25 will bring me to $625, which if I calculate my cost per item, it should be for $1.56. Now, if I expand that, it is definitely more than $1.56 each. Okay. Then on the 25th of August, I made another purchase of 600 toys, okay, at $1.75 each with a freight of $30. So back to my inventory worksheet, I'm going to recognize that on August 25th, I bought 600 toys at $1.75 and my freight was $30. I'm going to double confirm that. So purchase 600 units at $1.75, costing $30. So in this case, this is what I'm going to be calculating as my total purchase price. Okay, so 600 and my total purchase price here is going to be $410.50. Okay. And then my total freight or my total cost here is going to be my total cost is going to be my purchase price plus my freight of $30, which is going to give me a grand total of $10.80. Okay. And then lastly, my cost per item is going to be $180 even. Okay, so because I know it's $180 even, I'm going to go ahead and shrink that. Okay. Then on August 26th, I returned 25 defective toys for a full refund. Okay. So in this case, I tested out my materials and I found that 25 of them were actually defective. And because I would assume that it was the previous batch, which I bought for $1.75. I'm going to actually calculate the full amount because it's a full refund. So I will be getting $43.75 for those 25 items I have returned. Then on August 31st, again, you have a total of 1,500 toys on hand. So I'm going to go to my little table here and make sure I recognize that I have a total of 1,500 toys left in my inventory. Okay? So I've reached the end of the period and now I need to calculate or sum up all of my columns. So here I should have a total of 2,950 items. My total purchase price is going to be for $3,787.50. Okay. My total freight is going to be for $150, and my total cost is going to be $3,937.50. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my information right here. I bought a total of $2,950, which cost me a total of $37.87. Now my total returns and allowances, which I have to sum up here. So I'm going to go ahead and get my totals here. And I'm going to recognize that I have a total items returned is 75, and the total cost of that is going to be $146.25. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and apply them here. So this is 75, and this is the 146.25. Okay? So my subtotal here is going to be this subtract this to get me now. I am down to 2,875, and my value has decreased by this much. So let me double confirm that. So again, $3,641.25. My freight adds no value to my quantity, but it does add value to my total cost. So in this case, my total amount is still going to be $2,875 for a grand total of $3,791. Okay. So again, we did not have any beginning inventory, and I know from this, and I know from here that I am going to bring down my net purchases, which I know because I don't have any beginning inventory, so therefore my formula is going to reflect the same. Okay. Since I was given the piece of information that I have 1,500 left, I'm going to take my total available. I'm going to subtract out my ending balance to get me a grand total of $1,375. I'm going to apply my formula. All right. So I can get a grand total of the items I have sold. All right, since my goal is to get to $1,375 and we're using the Lifo method, so here, because we have no beginning balances, okay, so we're going to start from bottom and make our way to the top. So in this case, we're going to start from the 600 that we originally bought, which was $1.75. Now, because we're starting backwards and we're making our way up, we also have to make sure our adjustments apply. So do we actually have those 600 items available? And in this case, no, we don't. We returned 25 of those, okay? So in this case, we're going to take our 600 and we're going to subtract our 25 to get us a grand total of 575, okay? And are we going to utilize all of it? In this case, yes, we are. So we don't need to make a calculation there. However, we also need to update our inventory or the total cost because here I originally purchased it for a grand total of $180, but I've also returned $25 worth, right? I mean 25 items worth. So I no longer have 1080. I actually have 1080 minus the $43.75. So I actually have 1036.25. Okay. And again, for practices only, you can determine the new cost per item. And in this case, it is going to be the 1.082. So not 108, it's not going to be 180 even, it's going to be 18 and blah 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 cents after that. But in this case, we're already selling the whole thing out, so there's no point to have to calculate the total, the cost per item. Okay. So the next batch that we're going to be looking at is going to be our 400 batch for $1.50. Now let's look, did we make any returns or any refunds? No, we didn't. So we're good to go with that one. So in this case, for that one, we're going to take the full 400. And since we know we're taking the full 400, we are going to take it for the entire amount of the $625. Okay. All right, so now we are at 975 and we need to sell 1375. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and guesstimate. Well, how much am I actually going to need? And in this case, I'm going to take my 1375 and I'm going to subtract my 975. Okay, so again, I need to find out what my 1375 is minus the 975. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's not working. So if I were to just think about it, let me see. So I need 400 left to sell. And in this case, in my batch above for 750 is going to be utilized. Now, out of that 750, I only need 400. So in this case, let me look. Okay, if this batch is for 750, did we make any returns or any allowances for it? And in this case, we did. We returned 50 items. Okay. So now I actually have 700, okay? My total cost for my original is going to be for my $982.50. And on top of that, because I made a refund or a return, I need to subtract out the $62.50 that I actually returned. So in this case, my new value is $920. All right? But I'm not taking the full 700 because that's going to push my cost of goods sold over by 300. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate a new cost per item. So in this case, I know I'm at 920, okay? And I know I need to divide the whole thing by 700. So here I get a new value of $1.31, blah, 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 blah. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and calculate just the 400 items I am needing to sell. And in this case, I get this number here, which again, because we have that long number, right? We need to apply again our equal round formula. So we make sure that we don't be off by a penny. So in this case, equal round. Okay, and I enter in my calculations. I comma 2 and end my formula to get me now to 525.71. All right, because ultimately what we're doing here is that's the number that we're going to journalize, and we cannot journalize a tenth of a penny. It has to be a rounded number. So in this case, my total that I sold is going to be my $2,186.96, which I'm going to solve for my ending inventory, which should be valued at $1,604.29. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go to my journal and journalize my ending balance or my conversion entry. So I know that it should happen at the end of the month, so August 31st, right? We recognize that we're placing our items into inventory, okay? We have a cost of goods sold. And we also have a purchase returns and allowance. All right, I'm going to expand my journal just a bit. Okay, so I have a purchase returns and allowance. I also recognize that I have my purchase expense and my freight expense. Right? And I'm also going to make sure I indicate here adjusting for periodic inventory. Oh, I forgot my ending parentheses here. There you go. So that is that. And here, I'm just going to copy the information from my table. So here, my ending balance is going to be for the 1,500 for that amount. Here, my cost of goods sold is going to be for the 1,375 items. My purchase returns and allowances were for the total of $146.25. My total purchases was for the 3,787. My total freight here was for 150, and that should be my ending inventory. That should be the last thing I need to enter in here, and let's make sure our debits and credits equal. Okay, so I got 3,937, which right here, boom, 3,937. Okay, so they are even. Good. So let's go ahead and continue with the next question here. So question number 7 says to continue the inventory from question number 5. Okay, your inventory method is periodic, and it is Lifo. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up. So in this case here, I have August 31st is that I have an ending inventory of 1,500 toys on hand. So I can go ahead and copy the information from my previous section here. So in this case, I should have 1375. I should have 1,500. Okay. Now let's look at our information here. So in this case, I do have 1,200 from here, and I should have 300 from my previous batch. But don't forget to adjust your 1,200 items because we took a discount off 200 items. So make sure that you adjust it by the $40. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in the information as I see it in my original one. So here I know I have 1,200 and it's going to be equaled, wrong one. It's going to be equaling my 1,250 minus my return of $40. Okay, which should give me a grand total of 1,210. And of course, I am actually going to do this to calculate my cost per item here. So in this case, it says it's 101, but we all know it is not 101. It is definitely 10008, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so make sure you keep this in your Excel sheet or your calculator, or when you calculate it, make sure that you calculate this number. Okay. And then we had a remaining of the 300 items, which we did actually solve for the cost per item. And in this case, it was for, let me see, for this one, we calculated a new cost per item, which it should be this number right here. And we're also going to calculate the number here to give us this number. And again, with this being a nasty number, I'm going to go ahead and apply the equal round number so then our numbers don't look a little weird. So equal round. Okay, I'm going to multiply them. And I'm going to comma 2. And that should give me this number evenly. Okay, and if I were to total up my sums here, I should get a grand total of the 1,500, which should cost me a total of the 1604.29, which is exactly what we had here, 1604.29. So now we may begin our inventory. Yes, our inventory worksheet. So on August, on August 31st, we've completed that. We've had our ending inventory, correct? So now that ending inventory has become beginning inventory. So on September 5th, we recognize that we purchased 600 items at $1.65. Okay, so, I am so sorry. I don't know where I'm going. So question 7 is, we recognize that on September 5th, we made a purchase of 650 items at $1.65. 650 at $1.65. So 650 at 165. All right. And that's going to give us, and my, let me see what my freight was. My freight was $25. So my freight was $25. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and So my purchase price is going to be my 600 times my 165, which gives me 1072.50. All right. And then I'm going to add my freight expense together to give me 1097.50, which is going to give me a cost per item to be $1.69. Okay, so in this case, I obviously know that's not the full answer. So that is my first entry here. Okay. The next one's going to be for September 10. Okay. So on September 10, I made a purchase of 1,000 toys at $1.80 with a freight of $40. So 1,000 at 180. So September 10, I purchased 1,000 items at $1.80. Okay, which should bring me to 1,800, and my freight was 40, so I am now at 1840 for my total cost. And my cost per item is going to be 184 even. Okay, since we know it's 184 even, I'm just going to go ahead and reduce that. Okay. So what has happened next? On September 12th, you returned 50 defective toys for a full refund. Okay, so 50. We returned 50. Oh, I'm on question 7. So returned 50 for a full refund. So my quantity is going to be 50, and because I have to know that I have to assume that it's going to be the previous batch. So I'm returning 50 of those items, which cost me $1.50. So my total refund is going to be for $90. Okay. I'm gonna double confirm that it is going to be for $90. Okay. And then what has happened next? Okay. On September 20th, we recognize that we purchased a total of 500 toys at $1.85. Okay, so here, September 20th, we purchased 500 toys at $1.85 with the freight of 20. So 500 at $1.85. So what was that again? So let me double confirm that. So on September 20th, we purchased 500 toys at $1.85 with the freight of $20. So 500 at $1.85 with the freight of $25. Okay, so that should give my purchase price to be 500 times $1.85 should give me a total of $9.25. Okay. When we add our freight, it's going to bring our value to $9.50, and with the cost per item, it's going to be $1.90. And I believe this is an even number. Yes, it is. Okay. So then on September 22nd, you returned 100 toys. They were the wrong color, but you returned it for a full refund. All right, so no discount there. We're like, we've had it with you. You've been giving us the wrong color. I don't want to accept it anymore. So give me a full refund. Okay, so September 22nd, we're refunding for 100 toys for the full refund. So here, I'm going to go ahead and make my way down here, and I have 100 toys. and it cost me $1.25. Yeah, that's pretty. $1.85 is pretty expensive for the toys, right? We've seen that the trend that it's going at, it's increasing too much that we don't want to take that discount. That discount is not worth it to us. So they're going to give us a full refund for $185. Okay. Then on September 25th, we purchased 100 toys at $1.75 with the freight of $5. So here on September 25th, we recognize that we purchased 100 toys at $1.75 with the freight of $5. So that should give me a total purchase price of $175, which brings me to a grand total of $180, which if I were to find my cost per item, it should be for $1.80. Okay. Lastly, on September 30th, we recognize that we had a total of 750 toys left on hand. Okay. So here, I'm going to go ahead and update my little piece of inventory here. That ending inventory should be 750. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to total up my numbers because I've reached the end of my period. So here, I bought a grand total of 2,250 items. My total purchase price gave me a total of $3,972.50. My total freight is going to be for $95. And lastly, my total cost is going to be for the $4,067.50. And now I'm going to apply all of those down here. So I have the 2,000 items for the $3,000. My purchase returns and allowances. So because I need full refunds on everything, I'm going to go ahead and calculate my grand total of my returns I am making. So I have 150, and my total amount of my 50 is going to be for $275 even. Okay. And I'm going to apply it into here. So I returned a total of 150 items. And it cost me in grand total $275. Okay. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to subtract that out to give me my new balance. So I should have a total of 2,100 left remaining in my inventory. Okay. Freight doesn't do anything except for increase my total cost. Okay, so that is where I get my total cost here. All right. Do I have beginning inventory? In this case, yes, I do. I have a total of the 1,500, and it cost me for the total of the 1,604.29. Okay, and in this case, I'm going to add in my net purchases from above to give me a grand total of 3,600 items in my that have goods available to sell. Okay, and with that, we are looking at a grand total of $5,396.79. Okay, so with that being said, here we know that our ending inventory is 750. So we calculate that we sold a total of $2,850. I mean, sorry, 2,750 items. 850 items is going to be what we sold. Okay, so my quantity, right? I'm going to start from the bottom of my purchases because we are dealing with last in or first out. So in this case, we're going to start from the bottom of our purchases. And we need to get to a grand total of 2,850. Okay? So, if you want to take a shortcut, you can realize that your total purchases is supposed to be for the 250 items. But remember, we don't have all 250 items. We only have the total of the 2,100, which we know is going to give us a grand total of the $3,792.50. But for the sake of this class, and we want to make sure that we ensure the accuracy of our accounting, we're going to go and do exactly one at a time. So we know that the first thing that we did was, the last thing that we bought was this 100 items. Okay. Then the next one that we bought was the 500, but we ended up returning 100 of those items. Okay. And then the one after that, the one before that is going to be for the 1,000, right? Which we ended up returning 50 of them. All right. And then lastly, we had our 650, which we did not tamper with. We did not make any returns for. So that one's going to be for their full amount. Okay. So again, the first 100 batch, which we know is going to be for the 180, which we know we didn't make any adjustments here. Okay. The 400, right, was originally 500. We've had 950, but we've subtracted a total of 185. So now we're down to the 765. Okay. Our batch of 1,000, right, was for 1840, but we had to return 50 of them. So now our new amount is going to be for the 1750. And then lastly, our previous amount was for the beginning is going to be for the total amount of, because we didn't make any changes, 197.50. And boom, we get a grand total of 3792.50, which is what is reflected here. This was a total net purchases that we made. Okay. All right. Just a little practice here to have in your whatchamacallit, this thing, if we're just the practices of making sure that you know the difference between the decimal places. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right, so that is exactly how much that we've sold, which is 2,100, but we have to sell a total of 2,850. So in this case, let's go ahead and dive into our beginning balance right here. So we have 300 at for that much. Now let's see. If we sold 2,100 and we need to get to 2,850, what do we know? We're going to take the full 300 from our batch here. Okay? Which means we are going to take the whole thing and don't need to calculate that. So that's going to give us a total of $394.29. Okay. From here, now we are down to $2,400, but we need to sell the $2,850 minus the $2,400 to give us a grand total that we need to sell is $450. Okay, $450 from our top of the batch up here, which is already adjusted. We're gonna take this and we're gonna bring it down. Okay, we're gonna apply our equal round formula to get us a grand total of, comma, 2 decimal places to give us a grand total of $453.75 each, which if we all total it up, I meet my requirement of $208.50, and for the total cost of it is going to be $4,640.54, which we can grab from here. And with that being noted, we can subtract to find our ending balance of $756.25. Okay. Here, we're going to also apply our conversion entry for question number 8, which it should look identical to this, okay? Oh, I missed one. Did I get all of it? So, let me see, question number 6. To question number 8. They should be the same exact thing. But we have one more thing that we need to add in here, which is our beginning inventory. Okay, so don't forget to have that beginning inventory. Okay, I'm going to open up and expand my worksheet here. So, again, this should be at the end of September, so September 30th. All right, we have a grand total of ending inventory to be my $756.25. I should have a cost of goods sold for the $4,640.54. I had a return and returns and allowances for the $275, and we had the total purchases of the $3,972. We had our total freight to be $95, and lastly, we did have a beginning inventory of $1,604.29, and if we tally up our debits and credits, we get $5,671, which in our debit side is also $5,671. So they are even. Okay. Okay. So we will continue the last part of this exercise in the next video. So hold on to this. We're going to be looking at weighted average.